con Patrick Sanner, Head Macro Strategy Director de Swiss Re Institute. Good morning, Patrick. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Well, my first question is how climate change can affect the GNP?
Yeah, it affects GDP through various aspects. So obviously we have extreme weather events such as storms, floods, and droughts, as a result of climate change, and they can damage properties, they can damage trade and tourism. But importantly, climate change also affects how we live and work. So for example, people could suffer from more heat stress or more illness, and all these effects combined, whether it is more extreme weather events or a person's capability to work, has an effect on the economy.
And which will be the economy's hardest hit by the climate change?
So first and foremost, there are no winners. You just alluded to it. Under a severe scenario, almost a fifth of the global GDP could be lost by mid-century, but there are strong regional discrepancies. So the most severe impact from an adverse climate scenario will be felt in emerging Asia. So that would be Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, and to a lesser extent in Europe. This has to do simply with where countries lie geographically and what the prevailing climate environment is, but also has to do with the composition of the economy. For example, whether a country relies more on agriculture and tourism compared to the services sector overall.
You talk about Europe. You said they have a better, I don't know, situation or reality regarding climate change, but how about Spain?
Yeah, there are certainly a few things to consider for Spain. So clearly more heat stress and more droughts over the next few decades would negatively affect tourism, agriculture, and also labor productivity, and that will be felt in GDP. Importantly, our research also shows that about a third of Spain's economy depends on biodiversity and natural ecosystems, either directly or indirectly. And so because of such a dependency, Spain also has an inherent self-interest to mitigate the effects of climate change. And what Spain has outlined recently in its plan to use a larger share of the EU funds to support green stimulus measures, that's definitely an important step in the right direction with regards to mitigation of climate risks.
Patrick, the good news is that the impact can be lessened if decisive action is taken. So how can the countries mitigate this impact in economy?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, governments need to recognize that the time to act is now. So what's key is that countries pull on the same string and follow through with their climate promises. In terms of policies, the public sector actually has many options. So, they could, for example, have tax incentives for carbon capture technology. They can also invest in sustainable infrastructure and nature-based solutions, which have very positive economic and environmental effects at the same time. So that just makes economic sense. Central banks could even introduce sustainability criteria in their collateral frameworks that would help guide capital flows. So as you see, there are definitely many options on the table, but what's required is really a sense of urgency and execution to follow through on the climate promises that countries have made.
Mm-hmm. And finally, well, you talk about public sectors, but what about private sectors? Which role they will play?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone needs to contribute, not only the public sector, the private sector, obviously as well. I'm from the insurance industry, so the insurance industry can definitely, invest more according to ESG criteria. It's about risk assessment, so we can definitely support through our understanding of climate change and the risk expertise. So everyone needs to contribute. It's not only the public sector that needs to do the heavy lifting alone. It's a joint effort for sure.
Patrick Sanner, thank you very much, Head Macro Strategy Director of Swiss Re Institute. Thank you very much. Have a good day and a great weekend.
You too. You too. Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you.